All right. Thanks for tuning in to the Playbook. We are excited to be talking to all four of our coaches this week. First off, we have Coach Jeremy Smith starting his second season at Andrew Jackson High School. Coach, thanks for being on.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Um, Talk about your summer, Coach, and your participation and how you felt the guys did getting ready for the upcoming season.
Yeah, I mean, we felt like ever since May, really, we've had these guys since really January. We've had a majority of our players in our weightlifting class or football class during the semester, and so we've been really starting to kind of probably more than we did last year install stuff since January and kind of go forward from there. We felt like we had a really good spring and summer. We did probably 7 or 8 7-on-7s, and had some different things for the linemen, and went to one college. So we felt like we had a pretty good summer. We had really good attendance during the summer. Kids really came to work, and then leading up to this week, we've had 2 scrimmages in the jamboree. We scrimmaged Lugoff, which was a tough one. A 5A opponent, and we did pretty good in that scrimmage. We felt like we did pretty good, some good things. We scrimmaged Broome and Landrum. We went to Newberry College and scrimmaged there, and so that we felt like another good, two solid opponents, and we did had a very solid scrimmage, and then the jamboree, which we played Parkwood. So we've had we felt like up to this point, ever since we started the first official day, we felt like we've had some really good practices. We feel like we've had some good scrimmages, and some big things. We feel like defensively we've come out very well. We've come out injury free through all those. So it's been a good lead up to this, right? And I think our kids are excited about it. They seem excited right now about it, and we're raring to go.
All right, and I know you lost a good senior class, a bunch of valuable leaders, but each year the next class steps right up. Talk about who some of them leaders are this year, who we can be looking at to lead the Vols.
Yeah, like you said, we had a great senior class and a big senior class, and so those guys were key players. We've lost a good amount of starters, especially off the offense side of the ball. We're only returning one starting offensive lineman, and so from last year. So we had a lot of good leadership team or guys that had won before and knew how to win. Right now, we're probably looking at I would say especially of our skill kids, the overall team is Bryce Peterson. He plays safety and receiver for us. He has stepped up a lot, especially since this summer and leading up to this point. He's a big time vocal guy for us, big time player for us. He's going to be a great asset at free safety and receiver. And Tavares Kelly, we call him TK. He's our starting center, and he's been starting on offensive line now. This will be his 3rd year, and he's another guy, vocal example. He does everything you want him to do. He has stepped up, especially with those linemen. He has stepped up big time with them. We're really proud of, because last year he wasn't quite as vocal, and this year he's gotten a lot better with it. And then offensively, especially Jakevius Johnson, we call him Bubo. He's a big time receiver for us, big kid. He does a great job by example. Does again another guy does everything you ask him to do. And Dallas has gotten there. He started Dallas Vick. Probably he's going to be in at quarterback. He's done a pretty good job of leading the offense. And we've had some other guys here or there, that have had to grow up a little bit. It's a lot of sophomores that played last year on varsity. So a couple sophomores that are juniors now are the ones that you can start to tell, hey, we've got to be better at this and stepping up and being more vocal. So we've got a couple guys that have started to kind of fill that role. They understand that this is their last year around. They understand, kind of what it takes a little bit, because all those guys have played varsity multiple years, and they just kind of understand what it takes to win.
And you guys have done that. You have won the last few years. You won the region. Was it 3 years in a row now, or
It's
two or 3
2 years in a
years?
row. Yeah,
2
2
years.
years in a row.
And so talk about some goals. I know that probably is up there, even though you lose some players. The goal remains the same, correct?
Yeah, no doubt. We always, you want to talk about region championships and state championships. We try to overemphasize, just win the one this week. Let's worry about the one this week. It's easy sometimes with how young these players are, and kind of if you beat a team maybe a couple years in a row or last year or whatever, it can be easy to start overlooking things or looking to the next one or not putting importance on it. So really, our goal is just a lot of cliche. A lot of coaches say 1-0, but our goal is to try to keep winning or try to focus on that week. Let's try to win the one we got this Friday night, and then but yeah, we're always shooting for a region to get to playoffs, and hopefully have bigger goals. But we're going to talk about what we got coming this week. So.
And looking at your schedule, you got a pretty difficult non-region schedule. Talk about the importance of having a tough schedule and to maybe not worry as much maybe about your record. Obviously, you want to win every week, but like continuing to grow until you get to the region.
Yeah, I mean, I even felt like last year we had a really tough non-region, and I think we got better through that, and it made us better towards the back end of the season in the region play. But yeah, we have a kind of way the schedule shaked out. We couldn't get some opponents, or I couldn't, probably could find some 2A or 3A opponents that might have been willing to play us. But we do have these first two games. We're playing a 4A opponent, 5A opponent. And then we're going to go to a very good 2A school who's traditionally been in the playoffs and solid every year in Andrews. And then Louisville's a great 1A program, and Fairfield Central is another good 2A pro. So we're loaded, right? And our kids know it's a big challenge. And we, like I said, early March and April, we've been talking about this. And if we can get through it, obviously we want to do everything we can to put us in a position to win. We can get through it and learn things from it, and stay injury free, getting us in the region. It could help us out big time in the long run.
And that first game up is this week. I know you guys are excited. You're hosting Bluffton. Talk about them and what you're expecting from them.
Yeah, they're a very good team. They played Well Branch last week. They put the score was 56-0, and they're very explosive on offense. Very explosive. They have a very good quarterback who's a junior. He can throw it very well. Makes good reads. They just have solid big kids at OL and DL. Their D line is probably, to me, one of their best parts of their defense. We've kind of challenged our offensive line this week because they're going to be a very good defensive front, and they get off the ball and they do a very good job. So on the offensive end too, they've got a heck of a receiver. I think he's got a good amount of Division I offers. He's a very explosive guy. They've got a couple of receivers that can be very explosive, quick, fast guys. But their big thing is the big plays. They're going to try to get you on explosive plays, hit you down the field. They're gonna screen. They're going to be big in the pass game. A lot of 4 receiver formations, some 5 empty sets, 5 receiver sets. So they're going to try to spread us out, and they're going to throw a lot of things. They can run the ball. They've shown they can run the ball well too, but they're big on explosive plays. So they even made a couple plays in the special teams game. So we just got to be good. We know we got to be disciplined this week. Our kids know what we got to be able to do. It's just what can we execute it.
Well, great, Coach. We're looking forward to it. It'll be a couple of weeks till we come out and see you when you're playing Indialand in 2 weeks. But if you guys aren't doing anything this Friday night in the Kershaw area, Andrew Jackson is playing at home against Bluffton, 7:30 p.m. Make sure you guys go out and support those volunteers. Coach, thanks for being on, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, and thanks for sticking with us. I am here with Coach Joe Watson in his now second year at Buford High School, looking to push those Jackets hopefully into the playoffs this year. Coach, how was your summer in preparing for the upcoming season?
Summer was wonderful. We had probably 98% of our kids make their workouts, their percentage. So worked really hard in the weight room all summer, got stronger. So yeah, I was really pleased with the attendance and effort that we had.
All right, and talk about, after that summer, getting into the jamborees and getting ready for your season, how you felt about your team after scrimmaging a few teams.
Well, we were supposed to scrimmage down at Sherrall with a big 6-team scrimmage, and then that Thursday on the 8th, we got weathered out because that's when the storm came through. So Coach Surratt at Lancaster and I got together. He was supposed to be down there with his team as well. So we got together and said, hey, let's just go Friday and see what happens, just so we don't lose a chance to go against somebody else. And we came out of the gate and played well, I thought. I mean, obviously there were things to clean up, but I thought for the most part, first live action that you had against somebody else went well. And turn around, and it was already, like I said, it was already on the schedule for us to go scrimmage them on the following Tuesday at their place. And for whatever reason, we looked like we ain't never seen a football before. So you got the good and the bad right there. And we come back, watch film, tried to clean some of that up, and got into the jamboree this past weekend, or 2 Saturdays ago now, and just didn't hit on all cylinders, and I wasn't really pleased with the effort. And we had a good heart-to-heart talk afterwards, and we came out with a little intensity at this past week's practice, and had some changes made and got rolling. So prep week for last week was really good for us.
Well, and I know you lost some key players last year, and you always look to each year who's going to help lead this team. And you had some players get quite a bit of experience last year that are coming back. Who are some of those guys that, you're looking for and the kids are looking to and looking up to see how this season's going to go for y'all?
Well, I told kids yesterday in a team meeting after school, I said, we're going to go as far as the front guys take us, and that's the offense, defensive line. And, that's what a lot of coaches will tell you, but I wholeheartedly believe it, because what we do on both sides of the football requires those guys to play well. And, Connor Shoemate and Cade Pointer are 2 returning guys. Ethan Jaimez is a returner starter for us. So, 3 of 5 up front on the offensive side is not bad for where we are. And so those guys up front, and obviously, Noah's back at quarterback, so this will be a year 2 for him as a starter, and he's matured a lot for us. And then you'll get everybody to contribute. We've had some guys that's transferred in that we look for, for them to help us a lot. And defensively, you got Isaac Praken at inside linebacker, and he holds down the mic for us and calls our fronts and stunts and gets us in the right checks. And so we're all moving forward. I don't know, Troy, if we actually have one guy, because we preach team and family, to be honest with you. So I would hate to say one guy is a leader. We try to get everybody to pull the rope in the same direction, man, and that's kind of the theme for the year. So.
And you guys got off on a good start this last week. As our Learn TV game of the week. We were happy to be there, and you guys beat the SC Spartans 27-0. Talk a little bit about your offense. I will say I was impressed with Noah Crump, and just the poise that, that second year stepping in as quarterback. He looked decisive. He knew what he wanted to do, and I was pretty impressed with that. What did you think?
Well, like you said, he's matured a good bit. I saw the growth in the summer at 7-on-7s. I'm going to tell you where I think a lot of things changed for us was in the summer, we went to Wingate for the FCA camp for 3 days, and we left there a different team. We threw like 12 7-on-7 games in a matter of 48 hours. And our offensive and defensive linemen were down on the other end on a different field working to get better. And I think things changed right there when we came back to town. But yeah, playing the Spartans and speaking to Noah, like I said, he's grown a good bit. He's grasping the offense a lot better. We got some people that surround him that help him out. So yeah, we were very fortunate to come out of there with a win and a great way to start the year. I think the most part for us was our prep week and how we decided to go at our business and take care of our business.
And anytime you shut out a team, you got to feel pretty good about your defense.
Yeah, defensively, we played well. I think they had 39 yards of total offense in the game. I think they were -3 in the rushing category. So, and we gave up one big pass, but it was across the middle. And I just told the linebackers they dropped a little bit too deep right there to let the guy get in front of them. I mean, so it's little things to clean up, and I think we're moving in the right direction.
Yeah, and speaking of special teams, there wasn't too much because, you scored some points, but not a whole lot of punting. And I tell you, your field goal kicker had that, what was it, about a 45-yarder, was perfect online and just hit the upright. So you got to still be pleased with that.
Yeah, I was. There's one thing that we got to clean up on our PAT team. We had one blocked, and we saw where it came from, so we've made that necessary correction. But he was 3 for 4 for PATs, and like I said, it was a 42-yard attempt that hit the crossbar. I looked and joked, and I told one of the coaches, I said, our looks it hits and comes back into the field, and everybody else's looks it hit and bounces over. But it is what it is. He practices hard every day. We're going to give him another shot, and I ain't afraid to pull the trigger from right there again if it warrants,
And I noticed that you did have a lot of young players playing. I know that's a big key to getting that experience. But you also were without maybe your best offensive player in Antonio Amos, and he's on the recovery road. He's going to be back this week. So that's a big up for you guys, right?
Absolutely. Tony's a good football player for us. He was coming off a little injury, and I just made the conscious effort. I told him, I said, you're not playing this week. He got cleared, I think, Thursday to be full go. And while he's been practicing without contact, I just told him, I said, I'm not going to do it. We're going to save him and let him get full tilt this week and be ready to go for Friday. So and we expect him to play well.
And speaking of Friday, you got Bamberg again at home Friday. Talk about them and what you're expecting.
Well, Bamberg's a good football program, man. I know Coach Crosby really well. We went to school together, played football together at North Greenville. He does a great job with those guys down there. They're very well coached. They're big up front, athletic. But, what team isn't that we're going to play? It's going to be a challenge. I think his son's got who plays quarterback, number 7. He's got an offer to, I think it's Georgia State, if I'm not mistaken, but I know he's got one or two offers that he's, pondering over. But he's a good football player. He won't stand back there and throw the football. If he has to, he'll run, but that's not what he wants to do. They're going to lean heavy on the run game. I told the guys in film yesterday, I said, if you look at what they do and what we do offensively, we're a carbon copy of one another, in my opinion. They like to do the same thing we like to do. And it's going to come down, like I told them, who wants to play better up front on both sides of the football.
Well, if you guys are not doing anything on Friday, get out to Buford, watch the Yellow Jackets take on Bamberg. They are at home. Game will start at 7:30. Coach, thanks for being on today, and we'll talk to you next week.
Hey, thanks for everything you guys do for high school football in Lancaster County, Troy.
All right, and thanks for sticking with us. I got Adam Hastings here, head coach of Indian Land Football. Coach, thanks for being on.
Absolutely. Thank you. We're excited.
Talk about your summer, your program, how your kids did this summer, how many people came out, that sort of thing.
Yeah, it was another great summer. I'm really proud of, we had a really consistent number of kids right around that 100 mark. Pretty consistent all the way through the summer. We do a big team camp early in the summer. And in June, we took our varsity guys and some of our majority of our JV team to a trip to go to the Carolinas. Went to UNC, went to Duke University, North Carolina Central, and NC State, and came back. So that was a great trip. We also visited University of South Carolina, did some 7-on-7s, stayed pretty busy with our team this summer. Just really liked what they did as a team, how they came together, understanding the kind of what we had to be able to do to be successful in creating the identity of our program this year.
All right. And then, you talk about 100 kids coming out. How does that work into your preseason and your scrimmages? You got a bunch of teams going on. I'm sure that complicates some things.
It did. And, the weather didn't help us either. We lost one of our scrimmages that was going to be for JV in 9th grade and varsity. So that was a bit of that was tough, and then our jamboree, just because of some mix-ups kind of outside of our control, we ended up having the scrimmage Lancaster, who we play next week. So we didn't even we even dress our majority of our starters for that game. So we really took into one scrimmage, which is also a scrimmage for our JV into last week's game. So that was complicated. It created some issues, just some small penalties that you're often able to see in scrimmages that you can't see in practice, but you can kind of see when you go against somebody else. And then this reared is their ugly head at us at times. But I'm hoping that we can clean those up from last week going into this week.
And you talk about like mistakes and those little things that you see a lot of times. But I know with 100 kids, you got a lot of leaders, a lot of returning that helped you guys last year that you're looking for this year. Who are some of those guys, and what are the types of things you ask of your leaders?
I just ask for our leaders to, everybody leads, whether you lead the positive way or a negative way. Everybody's leading somebody somewhere. So I just ask our leaders to display leadership, where you're having a servant mentality. You understand that the team comes first, that you got to put other people first for them to listen and respect you, and that your effort and what you do has to be above reproach. Not what you do, but how you do it has to be beyond reproach. And I think we've had just a great group of guys kind of really embrace that. Guys who are not only voted captains, but guys who weren't, who didn't want to become captains, but I still think they're leaders in what they do. Whether it be our captains in Amarion Davis, Sequel Patterson, Leo Rodriguez, Matt Cusia, Michael Johnson, or some of our older guys that have really stepped into some great roles this year, Devon Caldwell, Kent Hampton, and many more. So really excited about the leadership they provide and the type of team they've created.
And it's always nice to start out the season with a win. You guys took on York. Talk about what that meant as a win, and talk about how you felt your offense played.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. Anytime we play a York team, I think we beat them once. They beat us 3 times since we've been here. And so anytime you take on York, it's a challenge. It's an absolute challenge. I mean, they're well coached. They play hard. They always have really talented players, and that's true for them this year. And I really thought that last year we were tight with them, had a chance to beat them. Obviously, 2 years ago we did. And the year before that, we thought we had a chance also to beat them very in the game. So I was really proud to see our guys find a way in the second half to get the lead back and kind of take command and control the game. I think that was big for us. I think this for hopefully build some confidence going into the rest of the season. We have a really tough non-region, exciting non-region, but difficult non-region. And then our region it's difficult. So I think hopefully for us to be able to build off of having some success last week into this week can kind of propel us into our region play.
And talk about your offense in the game, what you liked from them, what you expected, and what you didn't like.
Yeah, I mean, I'll start with kind of the disappointing part of it. I think for us, disappointing part was just the self-inflicted wounds. Whether it be, we didn't have one drive. We had 13 drives the entire game, and we didn't have one drive that didn't have a penalty, no mistake, a fumble, whatnot, that didn't kind of get us off schedule. But I thought we did an excellent job of running the ball. I thought we have a freshman quarterback who did a really good job managing the game, had no turnovers. and then kind of mixing it up for our players and trying to get some of our guys opportunities. Thought we did a really good job of it. And so for us, I mean, it's a great building block to come off of that week to this week where we can, we're gonna have another tough challenge.
And talk about your defense. I know they had a late stop on a 2-point conversion. Talk about, their impact on the game.
Yeah, I thought, really kind of a turning point in the game was in the third quarter. We had a pick six. Jackson Connor picked off a screen pass and took it back for about 45 yards for a touchdown. I thought that was an energy push for our guys, the momentum change in the game. And then I thought defensively we came back and had a 3 and out, and just it was a really good showing by our defense. All their big plays were plays where we were just not doing what we're supposed to be doing, just in the wrong spot, a coverage bust or whatnot. So I think for us, like, we know we can clean these things up. We can be pretty good on defense.
And winning by 2 points, special teams is often forgotten. How do you feel about special teams play?
It was, I told our guys last week that this game, week 0, is going to be won by some momentum change in special teams. And I thought it was just that. I thought our punt team and our kickoff team did a fantastic job of keeping them, on the other side of the 20. We pinned 3 punts inside the 15. And then our kickoff return did a great job. We had 3 returns over the 40. And then, they had a safety on a punt. And then we were able to block a kicker who was trying to roll out on a punt too. So all those were huge momentum plays for us in special teams. I'm really proud. Thought minus a field goal, we got blocked. And another one we missed, an extra point that we missed. I thought that we did. That's the most complete special teams we've had since we've been here.
Awesome. Well, and I know you're used to playing Lancaster. This game of the season seems like that's been the go-to the last 3 or 4 years, maybe. And now you have them week 2. You guys are in different regions, so it's more just a rivalry game. But I know it means a lot to both teams. Talk about Lancaster and what you're expecting.
Yeah, I don't know where you want to play Lancaster. I mean, they're big, they're fast, they're athletic. They play extremely hard. When you watch, you go back and watch and see their body of work the last 4 or 5 games, and when they went on a great run last year in the playoffs, they beat some unbelievable, really good football teams late in the playoffs. They beat a really good Chester team last week, so they're bringing a lot of confidence. And for us, we have to play smart. We can't get caught up in playing their game. We got to really rely on what makes us good, and really work to execute those aspects.
Well, Coach, you're the high school game of the week for us this week. We're planning to be there at Indian. We're looking forward to seeing you and seeing your Warriors play. So if you guys aren't doing anything on Friday night at 7:30, make sure you get out to the reservation and watch those Indian Land Warriors take on Lancaster. Coach, thanks for being here, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Yeah, thanks, Troy. Go Warriors.